Photosynthesis, the process by which plants convert light energy into chemical energy. The overall equation of photosynthesis is 6CO2 plus 6H2O in presence of sunlight forms C6H12O6, that is carbohydrates, plus 6O2, 6 oxygen molecule. Carbohydrates have an empirical formula of CnH2n and ON. So it is a process by which phototrophs convert light energy into chemical energy. The chemical energy is stored in the form of carbohydrates or sugars, which are created from water and carbon dioxide, which is fixed from atmosphere. This carbon dioxide we receive from respiration and combustion and many other such processes. This pathway takes place in chloroplast through photosynthetic pigments such as chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, carotene, and xanthophyll. Photosynthesis process is also used by algae to convert solar energy into chemical energy. Oxygen is liberated as a byproduct and light is considered as major fuel. This is the location where photosynthesis takes place. So inside the chlorophyll, when sunlight falls on the chlorophyll pigment, the photosystem 2, which is a complex of proteins, which is called has been divided into two photosystems, photosystem 1 and photosystem 2. Photosystem 2 picks up the wavelength of around 680 nanometers. So when light falls on the plant, the chlorophyll pigment absorbs this light and electron in it, they get excited. The chlorophyll pigments which are excited, they give up their electrons, and to compensate for the loss of electrons, water is split to release H plus ions and 4 electrons and oxygen. The electrons that are lost from photosystem 2, then they enter the electron transport chain. These are electron carrier molecules, plastoquinone. So electrons are transferred to plastoquinone, plastoquinone to cytochrome C, cytochrome C to plastocyanin. And during this process, the H plus molecule which goes out of the membrane, this H plus molecule it creates an electrochemical gradient to release H plus ions and 4 electrons and oxygen. The electrons that are lost from photosystem 2, then they enter the electron transport chain. These are electron carrier molecules, plastoquinone. So electrons are transferred to plastoquinone, plastoquinone to cytochrome C to plastocyanin. And during this process, the H plus molecule which goes out of the membrane, this H plus molecule it creates an electrochemical gradient. Electrochemical gradient because the electrical gradient is because of the positive ion, more positive outside than inside, and chemical gradient is because of more hydrogen species being accumulated outside. Now the electron from plastocyanin are transferred to photosystem 1, P700 nanometers, and there the electrons are accepted by NADP plus, where it converts to NADPH. Meanwhile, the H plus molecule which is accumulated outside, it tries to enter back inside through the process of chemiosmosis. There is a parallel system. This is a ATP synthase complex. This is not part of this electron transport chain, but it is just present parallel to it. ATP synthase complex which has two subunits, F1 subunit and F0 subunit. This is just like a ceiling fan. These are the blades of the fan which rotate. Now H plus goes and asks this ATP synthase, can I enter inside? H plus does a bargain. Okay, I will allow you entry inside if you give me your force. The force which is present in these H plus molecules is called proton motive force. So now H plus molecule enters inside, and in return it gives its proton motive force to F1 subunit, because of which ADP molecule converts to ATP, and hence ATP is formed. ADP to ATP, and this is how in the light reaction of photosynthesis, ATP and NADPH are formed, which are then used up in the dark reaction. So in light reactions, energy from sunlight is absorbed by the pigment chlorophyll and is converted into chemical energy in the form of electron charge carriers such as NADPH and ATP. And photosynthesis is carried out only during the day in presence of sunlight. This process is happening in thylakoid membrane. Thylakoid membrane is over here. Next is dark reaction, which is light independent reaction. Dark reaction is also called carbon fixing reaction. It is a light independent process in which sugar molecules are formed from water and CO2 molecules. In this reaction, the NADPH and ATP, which were formed during the day, they are utilized. 3 carbon dioxide molecules from the atmosphere are fixed by the help of the enzyme Rubisco. 3 carbon dioxide molecules plus 3 molecules of a 5 carbon compound called ribulose bisphosphate, they combine 15 carbon plus 3 carbon, and together they form a 18 carbon molecule called 3-phosphoglycerate. 6 molecules of 3-phosphoglycerate. 15 plus 3 carbon form 18 carbon. 6 into 3, 18 carbon, 6 molecules of 3-phosphoglycerate. These 6 molecules of 3-phosphoglycerate then react with 6 NADPH and 6 ATP to form 6 NADP plus and 6 DP, so that 6 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate can be formed. Now, 1 molecule of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate forms a glucose, and rest of the 5 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, they're used in the regeneration of lost ribulose bisphosphate. So again, 3 molecules of ribulose bisphosphate will be formed so that the starting material can be regenerated. That's all about the photosynthesis. Thanks for watching.